I was doing some research for one of my Food Through the Decade weeks, and I came across this excerpt from a book which has a schedule for a 1950s housewife, literally by the hour, and I thought it would be so interesting to do it and see how it would turn out. I then did some more research into living like a 1950s housewife, and it was so interesting to see all the different schedules that were suggested and the way that they spoke about life. It was so different to how it is now. Anyway, we got up and we had to go to the kitchen in our dressing gown and put the kettle on a low heat. It then said to wash yourself and get ready for the day. So that's exactly what we're doing here. The next section for the day was to make breakfast. So here I am warming up my teapot, and you're supposed to lay it all properly and everything. And the food that we're eating today actually comes from also a 1950s plan for what a 1950s woman should eat, which included for breakfast 1 serving of fruit, 1 piece of toast, 2 eggs, and then you could have a tea or a coffee on the side. Now in hindsight, I would have loved to have gotten properly dressed up like a 1950s housewife, so if you want to see any more videos in this era, then please let me know, because I find it so fascinating to look back through the ages and try different food from around that time, or try living like them, because it's just so interesting to see how differently people lived in different times. Also, thought I would say, obviously this was to be a housewife, but I'm not actually a wife, so this was literally just for me to experiment what the schedule feels like. So it's currently 8 o'clock, well it's actually 8:04 by my clock, and we need to make our list of days work. However, I've kind of given you a list of days work. So Banks, what we need to do first is we need to sort out our washing, and we're going to have to wash it by hand, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I do my washing by hand. This is going to be a new experience for us both, isn't it Banks? We're going to do our first wash load, and we're using this liquid wash because obviously you want to make sure that all the dirt gets out. I'm doing my whites, and you just put this in with some warm water. So now we agitate the clothes. Obviously I don't have one of those wraps that they have to get the dirt out, so I'm just going to have to really put a bit of elbow grease in. Sock is getting there. I'm really putting my back into this, and then apparently you should leave them to soak. That's me. Whilst our washing is soaking, it says to come and make the beds. But I actually did that this morning because I was looking. Oh, hi Banks. Banksy loves this new duvet. I got it from Kath Kidston and she actually loves the texture of it. This is where I find her every single day. It said in all of the things I read that when you make your bed in the 1950s, you should always air it. So this is what you do. You air it out, because otherwise you put in the duvet back on and it's just gonna make all of the dirt and bacteria fester, whereas this lets your bed air out. So I'm happy with that. Actually smelling pretty good after with all this washing solution. Things are looking cleaner. I'm happy with this sock. I feel like it's a lot cleaner. Honestly, all I can say is praise the Lord for washing machines. What brilliant inventions! That saves you like at least a lot of time in a day. I'm realising how much work a washing machine actually does, because this is still quite wet and sodden, whereas a washing machine does that spinny thing, doesn't it, to get all the water out, and that's really key to washing. I'm learning so much about the washing machine cycle. Putting on the marigolds, which means we're down to business. Now it's time to clean the bath and basin and mop the floor. I'm also going to do the shower because, hey, if I'm here I might as well really tackle the bathroom, you know. I actually, when I was younger, the bathroom was my chore. Out of all the rooms in the house, I prefer doing the bathroom the most. I think because it involves water, so it seems like less of a chore. It seems a bit more fun because it's doing it with water. I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever. Hi, this is an angle we've never seen each other at before. How are you? I am on the stairs because what we have to do now is we have to brush the stairs, which I can't say I've ever taken part of in my life. But Mum says that she remembers her mum doing this, but using like a thick wire brush, and she says You'll be surprised at how much dust comes out of them when you brush them. So I'm going to give it a go, see how it turns out. I have brushed my stairs. They're looking pretty good, pretty sexy. These little stairs. In your stack, it looks so good. But I am just going to also whip over with a hoover whilst I'm here. Might as well, you know, really tend to the stairs and make sure they know they're loved and cared for. Wow, brushing the stairs really worked because barely like anything in there. I don't know if you can see. I don't know why I thought that brushing the stairs wouldn't work. But really quite thorough. Now we need to prepare our vegetables for the evening meal. So let's go into the kitchen. It seems really weirdly ordered, but I'm gonna run with it. Honestly, preparing your vegetables earlier in the day makes so much sense and saves you so much time, weirdly, at the end of the day, you know, and you're like, oh, don't have to prepare my veg. And it's actually something that my grandparents do whenever we go over. They have all their veg early in the morning, prepared in their steamers, ready to rock and roll for dinner later. So here I am, preparing my veg and cleaning up. I've prepped my veggies, and now we're going to tackle this absolutely mess of a room. It is messy, there's no denying it. I will tidy it today, and trust me, by tomorrow, it's going to be a dump again. I don't know what it is about me. I just, you know, some people just have a way with making mess. That's me. I will be in a room, I won't have moved, I'll sit there like this, and within 3 seconds it'll be messy. I don't know how I do it. Clean bedroom, including floor and furniture polishing. One looking like I can hear a bell ring. Yes, I've been broken hearted. How could I ever refuse? Super Trooper. I am polishing, I'm dusting and making sure all the crust is going away. See, the thing is, when you polish, sometimes, you know, all the like dust sticks together and then you just swirl it around. But I'm trying to get it all off. There we go, look how good that looks. Guys, I'm even going as far as to dust these like slat things, because these always get a bit dusty, but it's like the most boring job to do. But we're taking it seriously today. My room is done, and I don't think I've ever in my whole entire life seen it this clean before, and it makes me very, very happy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see what's next on the list. Currently the time is 10:20, so are we behind or ahead of schedule? 10:20. Gosh, it says to clean bedroom including floor and furniture polishing between 9:40 and 10:55. So you're supposed to clean your bedroom for an hour and 15 minutes. Heck, my room was messy and it didn't even take that long. And I polished everything. Everything is sparkling. Next on the list, as you can see here, is to mop, dust, etc. downstairs rooms and the hall. So we're going to make our way through the downstairs rooms. The first place I'm going to tackle is the lounge. And let me just tell you, makes me not want to have any belongings cleaning. Every time I go to clean, I think, imagine if I was just a minimalist and I had nothing, then I wouldn't have anything to clean. Do you know what I mean? You have to take everything off to be able to give it a polish, so I'm just gonna have to, I can't even remember where everything goes in the fireplace. So I went on holiday and I got this little tiny jug from the Isle of Wight. Why? Why did I need this little tiny jug? I don't know, because now it's just another thing to take off this blooming shelf. Painted this in 2015. If you're an OG, you'll remember these when Dad and I did them for our, I think I did a video on art pouring or something. Really working the room, and I just hoovered this mat, and I tried to do, oh, you can't even tell on here. I tried to do a pattern, but you can't tell. You know when people like Mrs. Hinch's home? To be fair, I feel like this is what Mrs. Hinch's home does every day. Like, how do you have time for it? What the heck? How do you have time to do it that deeply every single day? But they do that like pattern on the carpet, don't they? It looks really cool. So lounge is done. I've dusted, hoovered, polished, everything, and now I'm going to tackle the kitchen. The chairs are up, which can mean only one thing. We've hoovered and swept, and now it's time to mop. However, I feel a bit like a the floor because we have this like electronic mop, and they definitely wouldn't use this in the 1950s. But we don't have any other mops, so I'm gonna have to use this, and it's still the same premise. I'm still mopping the floor, but it's just some steam mop. Don't really understand it, just what we have in the house, so I'm gonna just run with this. Goodness gracious me. Now, if you've watched my channel for a while, you'll know I'm not a tea drinker. I just broke one of my favourite mugs. Dang it! It could be a lot worse. The actual mug hasn't smashed, just the actual handle. But rest in peace, this gorgeous floral mug. We're back after that short interlude, and as I was just saying, I'm not much of a tea drinker, but sometimes it's the right time for a tea, and let me tell you, today is the day for a tea, so I'm having it. I need the energy to get through the rest of the day. It's time to settle down, just for like 10 minutes with a good cup of tea. We've had our little rest, and now it's time to whiz around the kitchen and make it look presentable. Because I've been doing so much cleaning and washing up, and I keep washing my hands, so I feel like I just need to absolutely load them up with some hand lotion, because they're gonna fall off, they're so dry. Honestly, crusty, dusty, drier than the Sahara. We're coming up to 12:45, and at 12:45 it says luncheon. Oh, someone's at the door. I'm prepping my lunch, and this might be the weirdest lunch. You've got bread with specifically just one pat of butter, one small serving of meat, and then you can have a fruit juice and a cookie and ice cream. But I'm absolutely parched, so I'm gonna have this now. It is my absolutely thrilling lunch. If I had to eat this just every day, I would be miserable.
The thing is, they wouldn't have had that every day.
Well, that's what it says on the rota, Mum. Guys, I might have to jazz it up a bit and have some olive tapenade, because I'm not being funny. It's just a raw chicken breast. Well, it's not raw.
I hope it's not raw.
I just mean it's plain.
Very poorly. They're rather divine.
It's olive tapenade for anyone who likes olives. This one from this company called Olive Branch. It's their chunky tapenade. Tapenade, I don't know how to say it. But it is absolutely sublime. Now I've had our lunch, we get to have the dessert. We got our cookies and ice cream, which is very... this ice cream is a bit hard. You know, and it's just not... Heck, and the cookie. More of a biscuit. Right, guys, can you see this? 1:16. I'm 1 minute behind the schedule, guys. We've got to... Come on, pull yourself together. You've had your lunch, and now it's time to get cracking. So now we need to make trifle, which I assume is going to be dessert. And no one in my family likes trifle. Trifle, awful, awful pudding. However, I am going to make it for my pudding, because it's telling me to. So I'm just going to make a single one, just for me. I'm going to make it in my little heart-shaped Le Creuset, because you can't make yourself a heart-shaped trifle. No one's going to make it for you. And then we have our little trifle all done, ready and prepped for later. I have to say, what I do like about this is I love being prepped and primed. Like, I hate rushing things. So the fact that I'm going to be all prepped and ready for dinner tonight by about 2 o'clock, I'm so happy with that. So the trifle is going straight in the fridge. Now we have to prep what we're going to have for dinner. And for dinner is a recipe that apparently was all the rage back in the day, which is basically, they call it a steak, but essentially it's basically a burger, which is really weird because it's kind of like a burger with vegetables and mash. And I'm like, why would you put all the effort in if you could just have an actual steak? But I am sure that there is a reason behind it, which I would like to know the reason of. I feel like I need to find that out, and it would benefit my life. So I'm prepping all the ingredients for it now. And I also can't work out, because in my like itinerary for the day, it says that I should put it on over very low gas at 2:45. So I'm like, am I supposed to put it on low gas and then leave it, or am I supposed to cook it and then come back later and like reheat it when dinner's happening? It was actually a special thing, as I assumed. It's the Salisbury steak. There's a little description here, so you can pause if you want to read it. But I just had the 1950s recipe, and apparently this was a very common dish in America at the time. That was really easy to do, and we've got a little steak in there, and then we just need to chop up the mushrooms, and I'm going to weigh everything out, so literally when it comes to dinner, I can just be like, bish, bash, bosh. Obviously we've got all the veggies prepped. And now we put our marigolds back on. These have been our real best friends today, haven't they? Little Mazzers. and we do a bit of washing up. Now I've nearly finished my activities for the day. As we can see here, I have some washing that needs ironing, and my next activity is supposed to be ironing, but none of it's dry, so we're gonna just have to wait on that one, and when it's eventually dry later, then I can iron it. But now I've got some free time. 3 whole hours, baby. Gotta milk it for all it's worth. So I'm actually gonna go and do a very 1950s kind of activity. If you've been watching my vlog channel, which is Extra Grack, where I post like daily vlogs, if you wanna watch that, feel free. I've been making a quilt, I have, and I'm on the final stages. I'm doing binding. So I'm gonna go and finish, hopefully by the end of today, we'll have a finished quilt, which I feel like making a quilt is so 1950s of me. Here we go, here's the quilt. But as you can see, I haven't done the best job of putting the binding on. So I need to kind of like go over a few areas and really tuck it on there. I've done it. My quilt is finished. So I'm gonna go and wash it, because you should wash it and then it goes all scrumpy, I think. I don't really know. It's 4 o'clock, which is time they suggest us having a snack. And for a snack, they've said to have milk. That's not a snack, that's a beverage. We're gonna do it. So I've got my glass here. I don't think I've had like pure just cold milk in a while. One of my friends is pregnant, right? And she just craved cold milk for like her whole pregnancy. And then when I thought about cold milk, I was like, I could get behind that. But now I'm looking at it, I'm not sure. Also, one of my other friends drinks cold milk, but she puts ice cubes in it, and she also puts ice cubes in her cereal with her milk, and apparently it's really good. So I'm gonna have my, it helps bones grow stronger. A lot of boys I know drink pure cold milk. I feel like it's a very boy thing. Hello people! I'm pretending this is a microphone, but it looks like I'm recording you, but obviously I'm not recording you. It is 5:45. Well, on my phone it's 5:45, but this clock is slow, which is annoying because it's such a big clock, so you think the time will be right, but it's never right. And I need to set the table for the meal, put the carrots and the potatoes on, and the plates to warm. Let's do it. Let's hop over to the oven. Hey, we're at the oven now, and we actually have this really genius thing on my oven, which this oven just came with the house, and it has a plate warmer on it right here. So you just, this one, you just turn it on and then it gets hot. You put your plates in it and it keeps your plate warm. And this is actually something that is so underrated at restaurants. If a plate is warm, it really elevates the meal, you know. So, potatoes are on, and now I'm gonna cook my steak, and I have to make the gravy with that. Little mushrooms and weird steak thing. Right, I'm making my gravy now. The burger's ready, so I've just put that on the oven. The potatoes are potatoing for the mash, and now I need to put the steamer on. Right, here is my lovely creation. We've got the steak under here, the mash, the mushroom gravy, the broccoli. Didn't make the jelly though.
Oh, no jelly!
I don't like jelly.
How can anyone like trifle?
I love trifle.
I like trifle.
I love trifle.
I love
Food.
I used to buy a trifle from Co-op and eat it.
It's not too bad because it's not got the dirty jelly in it.
What do you mean dirty jelly?
Jelly is dirty. I
Dirty.
hate
Do you like boozy trifle?
that texture. Two.
Why are there so many crunchies in here?
You can have one.
Crunchies.
Why are there so many?
What are you doing tomorrow?
Because I bought them for a recipe, but then I didn't.
You've got one of
do the
your
recipe.
caravans, alright.
No, I haven't.
All those peanut M&Ms.
What are you saying?
I think I've ever seen your floor. Ever.
That's what I said.
That's a lie! That is the end of living my life like the 1950s housewife, because after we finished that, there was nothing left for our itinerary other than cleaning up dinner, which is what I did. I would be intrigued to see if I could find like an evening routine for a 1950s housewife to try, or anything else. Any other ideas, do let me know. I'd love to hear them. I hope you enjoyed that video. I love you all loads. Peace out. Bye!